Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing really well. Today we're going to be talking about 6 books that will alter your brain chemistry, that will leave you thinking about them for months, if not years after. These are 6 books that I read in my little YouTube break of 3 years, and they are the ones that have stuck in my brain the most. Firstly, we have How High We Go in the Dark by Sequoia Nagamatsu. This book is a collection of short stories which is quite shocking that this is a book that is in this list, because I am famously, because you know people think about me all the time, I am famously known for not enjoying short story collections. The difference though I think with this one is that these short stories are interlinked in some way. They're all told within the same world where the wider events of the world are impacting each person that each of the chapters is talking about. So this one is set during a worldwide pandemic where a frozen body that was found in Siberia releases a virus that infects everyone and a pandemic begins. We go right through time and even into way into the distant future, into a space where people are travelling on a spaceship and they are thinking about the time when all of this began. There's one thing I really love about these types of pandemic based books, and it's how the author explores what might actually happen if a pandemic like this were to occur. Now obviously we've all been through a pandemic in recent years, and so it's interesting to read something like this and see what the similarities are. It's quite dark. There was a chapter that actually brought me to tears because it was in relation to a child, so I would definitely read the content warnings before jumping into this one if that's something that might cause you upset. The next book is This Is How You Lose a Time War by Max Gladstone and Amal El-Matar. This is a very short book, and in fact a lot of these books are quite short, which is quite nice. This is a lesbian love story across time and space, so it is a sci-fi type book. These two main characters are on opposing sides of a war, and they are sharing letters to each other and communicating with each other, but they're doing this indirectly so that they aren't going to be causing issues for their side of the war, because they're meant to be at odds with each other. Slowly they begin to fall in love with each other as they communicate across time and space, and the way they actually communicate is very clever. As each chapter goes by and you switch to the different person's viewpoint, you're wondering how the other person is going to have left their communication for them. The only thing I would say with this one is that if poetic language isn't your bag, might not be for you, because it did take me a little while to work out what was even going on, because it was so flowery and kind of elaborately described, but definitely a good one if you're up for a sci-fi LGBT romance. Next up we have The Bookaters by Sunyi Dean. This is a very intriguing book. If you are a fan of vampiric type stories but based in modern day and with a bit of twist to them, this might be something that you would be interested in. The group of people that this book follows are known as book eaters. Their only form of sustenance is through eating books. They can't eat normally and they can't reveal this side of their lives to any kind of normal people. And within this group of people there are also those who aren't able to get sustenance from books, and they have to get sustenance from the minds of other people. A little bit vampiric, you would say. These mind eaters are somewhat feared within this community. They don't often allow them to kind of grow past childhood, or even kind of, once they're born they get rid of them because of the danger that they face in terms of revealing them to the wider community of normal people. We follow the main character, who is a mum. She is a book eater and her young son is a mind eater, and so she is on the run, and you're going back in time in her memories to understand what has happened, why she's on the run, why is she hiding from her community, and what it is that's going to potentially happen if she's caught. I did not expect to enjoy this book as much as I did. I thought the concept was really unique, very interestingly told, and I really like the way that the author explored the idea of knowledge and how you gain knowledge, retain information, how that was then presented within these people who take in huge amounts of information via eating books. I thought it was just brilliant. Definitely a good one if you're looking for a little bit of a spin on the vampire type novel. The next book I have to show you is The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi. This is an extremely beautiful book. If you enjoy poetic, flowery language with also themes of Greek mythology and fairy tales, this will be for you. We follow a man who has married a woman who is very mysterious. He doesn't know a lot about her, and upon marrying him, he agreed to never ask or delve into her past. Then over time he starts noticing and seeing things that she is leaving around or things that she has slipped up and mentioned, and he starts wanting to dive into who she is, where she came from, and the mysterious situation that surrounded one of her childhood friends who went missing. This book perfectly balances mystery with fairy tale, whimsical vibes. You feel like you're being lulled along on a gentle river, but then slowly these kind of somewhat creepy aspects with regards to this missing person and what happened to them, and whether the person that he has married is responsible for something that happened to her. I read it last year and it's one that I still think about a lot. I do think I will probably reread it again sometime soon, because I also really loved the Greek mythology elements of it. Like, if you can weave Greek mythology into a story, for me it will become one of my favourite things, I think, because I just love it. I just love it. The next book I have to show you is actually a bit of a different one, and that is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Now this is a sci-fi novel. I don't read a whole lot of sci-fi things like this, yet I really enjoyed it. 5 stars straight away, like no notes, it was just brilliant. This follows the story of a man who wakes up on a spaceship in space. He has no idea who he is, where he is, why he's there, and then he soon realises that the other people who seemingly were put on the spaceship with him are all dead. So we then journey with him whilst his memories slowly but surely return to him, and he then realises what it is that he's been sent into space to do. Flip between him in the spaceship and then his memories leading up to the point when he goes into space and how it all came about. This book made me cry. There was a moment with a particular person, and I won't say what that is, but yeah, it was fantastic. Would highly recommend this one. The final book I have to show you is actually non-fiction, and that is All That Remains: A Life in Death by Sue Black. Sounds like a bit of a morbid read. It is somewhat, but it's also completely fascinating. So Sue Black is a professor of anatomy and forensic anthropology, and this is her book basically delving into everything to do with death. What happens to your body, what could happen to your body in terms of scientific research, what they know about death, and her thoughts on death. It was just completely captivating. If you are someone that has ever felt worried about death, I would think that this book is actually a good book to read, because Sue Black has such a calm and collected manner in which she speaks about death. Like, she is from a scientific background, so she is talking about everything in a very matter-of-fact way, but her understanding is so rich, and her compassion as well for the subject that she's dealing with is just so brilliant. If considering your mortality is something that you'd be up to delving into, then this book is for you. So there we are. Those are the 6 books that really stuck out to me from the 3 years that I was MIA from YouTube. However, little disclaimer, I have a stack of fantasy books that didn't even scratch this pile, so I am going to make a whole separate video about fantasy, because fantasy is the biggest portion of books that I read, and so I've got a big pile of those to speak to you about, and I'm looking forward to doing that. I hope you all have a lovely day. Do come and let me know, have you read any of these books? I'd love to come and talk to you. Have a great one. See you soon. Bye!